At 6 o'clock.
All right.
6 o'clock.
All right. Here we are. Raven Wolf.
Thank you, Michael. Line being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my lands, and if I ever lose my hands, weave, I won't have to work no more. And if I ever lose my eyes, if my colors all run dry, and if I ever lose my eyes, I won't have to cry anymore. For I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, I won't moan and I won't beg. And if I ever lose my legs, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south, and if I ever lose my mouth, I won't have to talk. Did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. Did it take long to find me? And are you gonna stay the night? I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Those harmonies are wild. Love them. I love it when somebody takes like cordage and do some haunting harmonies like that. Oh my goodness. What a wonderful way to start. I could have them play every week. Love it. So welcome everyone. My name is Santisha Growerland. I'm one of the spiritual teachers here at Unity. And I'm doing a talk today titled Divine Order is a Fundamental Truth of the Universe. And divine order is something that I've been working with in my life right now, like analyzing divine order and how does that look? How does that feel, you know? I'm in a phase where I have two teenagers at home. And it's when you go into parenting and you have these little babies, it's just this, you have full control, really, in a way, overseeing their care and everything else. And now they're out and about, and there's just this feeling like you have to always just kind of stay in this prayerful place because they're both driving cars, and I can't keep track of every move that they make, and I can find myself feeling fearful. Fear can really take place in me without me even consciously going there. I think just as a mother, our nature is to always make sure our young are safe. And yet, the fundamentals in parenting is that we raise them to make good decisions. And then we have to give them to God, right? So we have to trust that God is a part of their life and they're going to follow the divine plan of life. And so I'm working with divine order as far as accepting life and how it unfolds. And something as natural as your children becoming teenagers, and then my son turned 18 in February and he's graduating in a few weeks. Last night was his senior prom, and I was taking pictures of him, and it was like a flashback, like a photo flashback. I'm vulnerable today, sorry. Of the greatest experience of my life, raising him. And now it's the process of letting go, which is so unnatural to a mother. They say to let your kids, build these wings and fly is the mother's crucifixion. And man, is it. To just be their witness of this incredible being that's come through you, but they're not yours. They were always originally God's, right? And we've just been gifted an opportunity to be a vehicle of the unfoldment of a gorgeous life. And you got to play in that realm for 18 years. And now we have to release and let go and trust the process. And I think that's what divine order is trusting, building faith in the not knowing what's next. And yet we have a very clear cycle of parenting, which we know 18 will come, but we just don't really like to talk to ourselves about it till it hits you in the face. You're watching your kids standing there and it's like, this all happened so fast. How many moms have experienced that? This happened way too fast. And I have a 27-year-old daughter, and that went too fast. And yet it is also so beautiful to be in this place of reverence of the years, of the time, of the sacrifice, of the excitement and the laughter and the joys and the birthdays and the everything, that we both have come to this threshold. Not just him, I have. Mike has, as stepfather. And why is there sadness when the divine unfoldment is happening, right? And it's this deepening and this deepening and this deepening of this understanding of this greater power we call God or source or spirit that was always guiding it in the first place. But there's this little part of us that thinks that we were in charge. Right? We had this feeling like we were in charge, and now this is when we really have to put our feet on the road, on the path of our spiritual practice, which is trusting that everything will be okay. And it's not just that that's going on in my life, but there's many, many things coming up. This year is the year of everything coming into full circle. Like, I know where my life is going. Finally, I figured out what I want to be when I grow up, like a week ago. It's amazing, right? I'm teasing, but really and truly, everything that I've been working towards for the last 8 years is literally falling into place. And at the same time, how can I juggle all this too? So that divine order is the fundamental truth of the universe. And when we flow with that divine order, we have peace. We recognize that we have the strength, the power, the divine interest, the divine, insight to be able to tackle all of the things that the universe is giving us. But when we look at it all and we try to look at it from the intellect, overwhelm can set in because we think, I am only one person. And there's all these things that are going to be happening at one time. And if we look at the bigger picture of it, we can get extremely lost. And then when we remember divine order, oh, divine order. Everything is as it was always meant to be. And all I have to do is step in and show up peacefully, meditate it up, ready, excited even, to watch how this whole thing unfolds, this life opportunity unfold. In the book, The Flow of Life, Eric Butterworth writes this: divine order is not simply an ultimate toward which to work through some prayer technique that claims its reality. It is a fundamental truth of the universe. There is always a cosmos within chaos. There's always enough love to go around, even within the persons involved in inner disputes. In the flow of life, there is a potential for peace and understanding and cooperation in every relationship. And as Lao Tzu says, whoever flows as life flows has solved the human equation. Whoever flows as life flows have solved the human equation. And then we wonder, though, why do we push up against the flow? Why do we get stuck in, ruminating on how are we going to do this, or why is this happening to me, or, and it's not all good things that happen in our divine flow, right? It's the unfolding of the human consciousness, the spiritual consciousness in this human experience. And when we're in difficult times, those are the tools are being built within us to be able to step in more and more to that which is our divine unfoldment. And so there is a reason for every season in life. And every season brings a new awareness and a new awakening within us. And each season, when we have these new paths where we hit another, fork in the road, we might find things getting a little turbulent, getting a little bit, And if we can get into that divine presence and start listening, asking Spirit to speak through us, to guide us, to demonstrate that which is needed for this next moment in dreams, in hunches, in foresight, opening up through our meditation every day and becoming an open channel for this divine love we call God, Source, Spirit. But truly it's the energy that fuels us as divine potential, that puts us on the direction of the fork that we are meant to be on. And you can't force it. So divine flow is the floating in the river. It's the dropping of the oars. It's the trusting that where you come out is exactly where you're supposed to be. And if we try to do it with our intellect, and if we try to force our way to make the outcome we want, that's okay, but you're going to have a little more of a bumpy road, and in the end, you're still going to end up where that river would have taken you anyways. It might, kind of delay your good when this opulent universe is constantly trying to give us divine order, divine peace, divine love, divine friendships. Myrtle Filmer, our co-founder of Unity, says this: surely you don't want to stay in the same rut always. Aren't you willing to let the Spirit of God in you draw you out in different phases of expression and development? You have accustomed yourself to certain ways and acts and returns, and you don't want to be shaken out of these habits. But it would appear the Spirit has taken a hand and is assisting that you look a little deeper into the storehouse of mind and substance and love, and launch out in a different course of action and service and growth. Consider honestly and impersonally just what there is greatest need of, where you are or elsewhere, and then ask the Father to help you to get into that line of expression and service. Give thanks. The Spirit is growing and prospering you and providing for your needs, the ones you didn't know you needed. So even when we're asking to be prospered for our needs, there's ones that we didn't even realize that we needed, and the universe already knows. The universe already knows what you need before you even ask. And so it's about this divine order, this divine alignment that puts us just where we need to go. And when Myrtle says, go to the Father, metaphysically meaning, Father means God as Father is the cause and source of the mind. It's the cause and the source of the mind. It's not some separate Father that's in the sky that's waiting to endow us with this thing figured out in our life. It is the source. It's the cause and the source of the mind and life that is being expressed everywhere, whether this is known to the senses or unknown to them. So what it comes down to is our fifth unity principle, which is through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. What are we thinking about a situation? What are we saying about a situation? How are we acting out by what we're harboring in us? Are we in divine presence and in divine alignment? Or are we accessing this source, this cause and this source, this energy that moves in and through what we are vibrationally? A lot of times we might feel like we're out of our divine order and we're out of our divine alignment, and we want vibrationally what's up here, but we're radiating down here. And you can't get what's up here when your energy is down here. The goal is to get to the vibrational energy of high, of 5D consciousness. It's of an awakened consciousness. When we get our vibrations higher and higher from a state where you're looking from the eagle at your life, from a bigger picture, instead of this interpersonal experience where we're going from ego, we're moving from fear, we're moving from limitation, we're moving from a place where we don't feel like we're enough, we're vibratoring from a place of lack. The goal is to get to this higher consciousness, this higher alignment, which then you're only met with higher alignment in all the areas of your life, financially, spiritually, physically, mentally. So we used to think, the law of attraction was so big in the last 15 years. You just think and you have. You put your mind upon it and you get it back. And now we know that's not true. Because now we're talking about the vibrational energy that we are. Right? We can think on something, and you can play in it. If I'm teaching teenagers, I will, say, just come up with something in your mind's eye right now. Like an electric bike or a dolphin or a horse in your mind's eye. In this group, just look upon it for like a minute. And then next week, tell me how many times that crossed your path. And it's like 50 times because they put their intention into a vision of something silly to practice with how this law of attraction works. But that's just for the fundamental, this is like the bubblegum, cotton candy aspect of spirituality. We play in that, and at first that really works, and you do actually manifest more prosperity financially, things like that. But then eventually it won't. Because the divine spiritual unfoldment is about growth. It's about heightening consciousness. So you have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. You can't be difficult and harsh on a human being and not have it come back to you. Eventually you have to live honorably. You have to live what you know. And you have to learn, and you'll know more and more and more as you vibrationally grow. You'll see where you are giving things out to the world that are based on your pain body. And so then you're inflicting the very pain that you feel inside yourself to others. And you're wondering why you don't feel good. And you're wondering why you're tapping into depressions and you're wondering why you're feeling anxiety. And these are all the ways that the universe shows you you're not living in divine alignment. You know that there's more for you, but are you willing to step in to your divine potential? Are you willing to become anew? Because we're always doing the death and the resurrection, which we just went through a week ago. That symbology of Jesus being on that cross and dying for our sins, what has that ever done for anybody? What has that message ever done for anybody? That is the interpretation of what the world does to light bearers. When this world is in so much need of the light bearers in all of us. So we need to unite and be together as light bearers, changing the consciousness to make a difference for a future and a world that's 7 generations down the road, and we're not thinking about ourselves, but we're thinking about our children, and creating a place of love that we've experienced, and becoming that conduit, giving it, and as you're giving it, you're receiving it, and as you're giving it, you're receiving it, and as you're giving it, you're receiving it. So when we're in divine flow and we experience a resistance towards it, we need to be with that. Being with the resistance has a lot of educational tools. Resistance is a teacher. Resistance will make you turn from looking out there to here. Why am I resisting moving forward? Resistance is based on lack and limitation and a lower self-esteem. Because if we trust that there's something greater at hand in absolutely all the turmoil and all the chaos that we're looking at, that there is an unearthing that is happening within each and every one of us. That's where it starts first before we can change everything out in the world. It starts here. Because we are God in expression. We are opening up to this unending amount of supply from the universe of love and peace and joy that is begging to move through us. But we're resisting because we're scared to change. We're scared to grow. We're scared to let go of our stories that limit us. So we want to keep telling the story of our limitations. And we want to make excuses of why your life isn't moving forward. And everybody they can hear, everybody that I can tell why I'm broken and what happened to me and why I'm not fully expressed. The only person you're hurting is yourself. Because you probably don't believe that you deserve the divine unfoldment of the Christ consciousness as you, through you. As you, through you. So resistance robs us of the ability to embrace all that life is trying to offer if we would only open our eyes and look around. I'm going to give you a little example. Do you all know who Lady Gaga is? If you don't, you've been living under a rock. Lady Gaga is famous. She is a Grammy-winning artist. She's an Oscar-nominated actress, has sold millions of records and sold out arenas across the globe. But her journey has not been easy. What many people don't know is that she has struggled with chronic pain for all of her life, to the point where it was almost so debilitating she could not perform anymore. She shared her story of how she learned to deal with her pain as she sat on a stage with Oprah. And she shared the unusual advice of one of her doctors, because she was getting more and more drugs prescribed to her for pain, and we know the crisis that comes with painkillers. But you can only imagine wanting to find the relief. That's what we're all trying to find. It's relief from this discord in ourselves. And that's what the spiritual life's about, is finding and feeling the relief of God. Accessed by us not pushing it away. So her doctor said to her, you need to radically accept that you're going to be in pain every day. And she's godsmacked. What do you mean? I mean, this is a lunacy for somebody to say to somebody that's in chronic pain that she has to accept that she's going to be in pain every day. And she's in her 30s. I mean, she's probably in her 20s when she had this interview. And that's how you're going to heal. And she's like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to heal by accepting? He said, you have to radically accept that you're going to be in pain every day. And I would have changed this language, because we're always working with mind, body, and spirit, and how we are the empowered energy that heals our physical bodies, right? Our mind over our body, we can actually heal ourselves from things that doctors say we can't. I've watched it all my life. I grew up in Unity in this church since I was 3 years old. I've been able to sit in a place where I've watched miracles my whole life, and it works. If you really can trust and let go of fear, right? But what I would have said if I were talking to her, you have to be with the pain. You don't have to accept the pain, because accepting pain is kind of almost affirming more and more pain. But being with the pain. It's just like us when we're pushing something away. We needed to turn and say, what is this trying to teach us? Being with the pain, there's something in the pain for greater exploration, for a greater unfoldment for this person that was going to become such a great star. So Lady Gaga says that accepting her pain changed her life. Rather than waking up every day fighting, resisting her reality, trying to control it, change it, overcome it, she has learned to accept her pain, which allows her to accept the power that's within her. And the more she did that, the pain started to disappear till she has no more pain. And she completely got sober off of all of the pain pills. This example is not, there's so many examples of this, and I'm sure you have people in your life that have shared stories like this with you. But everything that is a discord is a teacher. No matter how much you want to explain how something hurt you as a child and made you feel less than and made you feel like you weren't worthy, and so you've dragged that into every interpersonal relationship or loving relationship or towards your children or with your spouses or with your boss, you've recreated out in the world an example that you are not enough, right? Because that's what we do, because that's how the law of attraction works. When we go in wounded into the world, you will literally create outer circumstances that will prove to you that you are wounded. Or outer circumstances that prove that you aren't wanted, you aren't needed, you aren't loved, you aren't good enough. And you think, God, did I just pull a bad deck of cards this lifetime? Or is this the lifetime you chose? You wanted this lifetime. You might have on some karmic contract level said, I want to overcome this human experience and experience the spiritual. The part of us that thins that veil to the ethereal, to every ancestor, to every family member that's crossed over, to the wisdom of all of it, and letting it pour into our lives and experience the magic of the mystery of what this world, in the spiritual world, will give us when we trust. When we have faith in this unseen realm that is always working for us. And when we feel cut off, and we feel distanced, and we don't feel seen, and we don't feel loved, we have to look at the fifth principle once again. Through words, thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. It comes back to us. We have to hold ourselves accountable for the thoughts we're holding in our mind's eye. And even maybe you can't change the thought completely, but what if you just like a guitar string, you just tuned it a little bit? What if you just did a little better each day? Committing for a day that you're not going to share the story. Committing for a day that you're not going to share the story with yourself. Committing for a day to try to be in the presence of the living God in you. And just bask in that unconditional love. Getting away from your screens, getting away from your TV. Look at the weather right here. Just go lay by the river and listen to it. And let that wind just caress your being and your soul and clear all this energy. Get yourself a crystal. Hold your crystals. Get grounded with Mother Earth. We've got Earth Day next Sunday. She's here. She's beating through us. Walk without your shoes on. Get connected with this divine energy that holds the very grounding underneath us. And open up to the possibility that what I'm saying right here is true. Who believes what I'm saying right now? Good for you. I'm going to clap for you guys. It's so good. It's so good. And here, Lady Gaga goes through this experience of chronic pain, and she's on every network. Everybody's seen her. Maybe that pain was set for the world to see. That even she, who we think would probably be lucky, somewhat divinely blessed, that she's selling millions of albums, playing music, sharing the gifts that God's given her, and yet she lived in chronic pain. Do you see the duality of how the universe works? It's how it always is. When things start to flow, something's going to come in, and it's going to stand there. It's going to be in your way. And again, time to look within. What is this? Deepening and deepening of the consciousness, to heighten consciousness, to move to the next piece, right? To the next opportunity, to the next blessing, to the next miracle of your life. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Who believes that? And it doesn't always have to be that way. Today, we could just decide to get in the presence, into the divine presence, and be in the state of unconditional love. Spirit, use me. Spirit, move through me. Guide me to be where I am needed most. Let me be a vehicle of your servitude. Even in my own family, with my spouse, with my children, with my job, with my... Guide me, Spirit. I am an open vessel. I am ready and waiting and allowing all the good, all the light, all the beauty that I know I'm here to experience and to share with others. This past, this baggage that I'm pulling along, these things I'm bringing with me, I release them. I let them go. I don't need them as a crutch anymore. I'm willing and I'm ready to step into divine order, the divine plan that I don't need to understand. I just have to step into in this state of unconditional love. As you move outside of your comfort zone, what was once the unknown and frightening becomes your new normal. When you step out of your comfort zone, what was once the unknown and frightening becomes your new normal. When you think about your problems and talk about your problems all the time, it literally makes your problems grow. It's the number one symptom of depression, is what they call rumination, the pathological obsessing of your pain or the issues of your life. That's why stuff like exercise does you a lot of good. Running errands is really good. Getting out of the house is really good. You know, they've done a study that The group of people that are the least depressed and the least medicated for depression are single parents with 3 jobs. Why would that be? Of the poorest of the poor, they don't have time to be constantly thinking about their problems. They're stepping in. They're stepping in because they have to step in, right? They might be stressed out, but they're not depressed, not clinically depressed. They probably don't have any time to go to a mental illness person. They are literally like just taking care of their kids, and that's their focus, right? So again, through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. What is it in the Bible? It says, idle hands are the devil's workshop. That comes to my mind all the time when my kids are getting in trouble. It's because they aren't busy, right? When they are driving me nuts is when it's like summer, and it's like, you need to go back to school, right? You need structure. You need to do something. And now I have my kids so consumed and busy. They're like, I don't feel like, yeah, because you're 16 and 18. It's very intentional that you're in dance classes and music lessons and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm willing to basically spend every dollar that I would need to spend on myself on them to just have the peace that they're busy and they're in structure. And so the devil's not coming on in, even though I don't believe in the devil. We know what devil means. It's just error thoughts, or it's the carnal mind that comes from the things of the world. When we're impassioned in the things that we love, our creative things, our painting, our dancing, our walking, our dreaming, we can't get depressed there. But when we buy into the outer world is going to make us happy, things of the world, a boyfriend, a situation, the right job, the right diet, the right body, you're going to just be fleeting for a happiness that doesn't exist. Because the divine order is a moving energy that's always moving through us. And all we have to do is wake up, meditate, and step in. Be committed to stepping in and holding that state of unconditional love and trusting, building faith in this greater unseen energy we call God, source, spirit, whatever word for this nameless energy, whatever you use that makes you feel embraced, seen, loved. And let the unfoldment of light, peace, and joy come into your heart and mind and bless everybody around you. Thank you.
Well, once again, we have freely received some wonderful insights into making life work the way it was meant to work. And so now we have an opportunity to give back to Unity of Boulder. This is where we embrace the truth. This is what Unity of Boulder is all about, bringing the truth to light in our own awareness, and we've just experienced that. Now, if we take those principles and put them to work in our own personal experiences, we will find out that they actually work, and they work beautifully. So now let us bring our gifts for unity so that we can continue to do the spiritual work that we do here. Let's bring those gifts into our hands, into our minds and hearts. Those of you watching on live stream, just bring that gift you'd like to make to Unity of Boulder into your consciousness. And let's bless these gifts with this divine prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have the opportunity to listen to Ravenwolf once again. All right, it's good to have you guys back. It's always good to have you.
Thank you, Jack.
All right.
what you are, what you're meant to be. Speaks his name, though you were born to be. Born to be, can't see. Lost now in a country miles in his Cadillac. I can tell by the way you smile, he's rolling back. Oh, washed the nighttime clean. Oh, the road is scorched ground green. Tap the tambourine. Close the gap of the dark years in between. You and me can't see. Quick beats of an icy heart. Catch cold draws a coffin car. Mary goes and now here she starts. Hear her cry. Seabirds scattered like lost words, wheel to the storm and fly. The seabirds scattered like lost words, into the storm and fly. Very well now, let your life proceed by its own design. Nothing to tell now. Let the words be yours, I'm done with mine. Fare thee well now. Let your life proceed by its own design. Nothing to tell now. Let your words be yours, I'm done with mine. Done with mine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Hey, we'll see you tonight up in Netherlands.
So at the closing of the service, I will have a little circle up if you want to talk about the sermon, and we just a nice way to meet other people. We do it right at the back of the sanctuary, right after the service. And we're just going to do 20 minutes today since it's so pretty outside. I want you all to get outside and get your feet in that beautiful earth. And then, let's see, we had Grateful Dead going on the stage today. What do you think about that?
I thought they were pretty phenomenal.
They're amazing, right?
Yeah.
We want them back a lot more often. Of course, Heather is our administrative assistant. I work with her every day. Most creative, most amazing. She is the light of this center. And oh my God, are we so grateful for her and her husband. performing together with Raven Wolf. All right, let's all stand up, and we're going to close with Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we'll just hold hands. And you guys can hold hands with the people in your same line, because I don't think we're big enough to circle up today. Here we go. Before you leave, a spiritual center that dances together stays together. Here we go.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
There you are.
In the Spirit and my heart.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm only here for God. No